Okay, so I want to start with a concept that well, it feels ancient. We're doing a deep dive into idolatry. And
Right.
when you hear that word, you immediately think of, golden statues or something out of ancient history,
hmm
theology. But the sources we're looking at today argue it's actually this deep psychological glitch, and it's something you might be doing right now.
It's definitely not just about statues. The source makes a really sharp distinction right out of the gate. It argues idolatry isn't just liking something too much.
So it's not admiration.
It's not admiration, and it isn't even respect. You can respect something deeply, even reverently, without it tipping into idolatry.
Okay, so if it's not just loving something a lot, what is the actual definition we're working with? Because the text uses a pretty heavy phrase, the elevation of the finite into the absolute.
It sounds super philosophical, I know, but it's actually very practical. Finite just means something has limits, it has flaws, it can break, it can be wrong.
Like a person or a political party, an idea.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Those are all finite. Idolatry is what happens when you treat that limited thing as absolute, meaning, it has no flaws, no limits, and it just cannot be questioned.
So it's basically giving a person or a system a permanent blank check.
That's the mechanism, yeah.
Yeah.
It's when your discernment is replaced by total surrender. And the source lists some fascinating targets for this,
Right.
obviously leaders, partners, but it also lists things like ideologies, wealth, success, and even the selves. The error isn't that you value them. The error is assigning them ultimate authority.
That's such a subtle shift, though. It's the difference between I agree with this leader and this leader can do no wrong.
Precisely.
But the text talks about a specific consequence that happens like in your brain when we do this. It calls it the death of perception.
And this is the most dangerous part. When you turn something into an idol, an absolute, you effectively put on blinders. You actually can't see reality anymore.
You can
No. If the thing you idolize has a contradiction or a flaw, your brain literally rationalizes it away because the image you've built is more important than the truth.
There was a line in the notes that really just jumped out at me. When questioning feels like betrayal, clarity disappears.
Yes.
That feels like a massive red flag for anyone listening.
It's the ultimate diagnostic test.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a relationship or part of a political movement or even just a workplace culture, ask yourself that question.
Right.
Does this actually make sense? Feel like you're being a traitor? If the answer is yes, you are not dealing with respect anymore. You're dealing with an idol.
Let's break that down into some real world examples. The source mentions relationships first, which I think is probably the most relatable.
In relationships, this looks like pure idealization. You ignore red flags because you need the partner to be perfect. You start sacrificing your own identity just to keep their pedestal intact.
And we see it in culture too.
Oh, it's even more common in culture. Blind loyalty to a side, where you defend your team's bad behavior while attacking the other guys for the exact same thing. That's moral absolutism.
The one that might be hardest for people to hear, though, is the idolatry of the self. How does that work? Is that just, narcissism?
It's very close, but it's specifically what the source calls ego inflation.
Mhm.
It's treating your own story, your own narrative, as the absolute truth. If you idolize yourself, you can't accept correction.
You can't admit you're wrong.
You can't, because that would shatter the God you've made of your own ego.
And this leads to the main argument about the cost of all this. It's not just a moral problem, it's a functional one. The text says when something is idolized, growth stops.
Well, think about it logically. Growth requires fixing flaws, right? Learning requires admitting you didn't know something. But an idol is, by definition, already perfect.
It can't evolve.
It can't. If you treat a system as perfect, you can't improve it.
Hmm.
If you treat a leader as a god, they can't learn. Stagnation is the price you pay for that false perfection.
So, if we want to avoid that, what's the alternative? Because humans crave certainty. We want things to believe in.
The text calls the antidote reverence without blindness. It's a middle path. It doesn't mean you become cynical and, hate everything.
Sure.
It means you can be fully committed to a cause or a person or a belief, but you never, ever check your brain at the door.
So, value without worship, respect without surrender.
Yes, healthy devotion actually wants the thing it's devoted to get better. It welcomes the hard questions because it wants the truth. Idolatry just wants to protect the image.
That seems like the whole ball game right there. Idolatry protects the image. Healthy respect protects the truth.
And that leaves us with a difficult question for everyone listening.
Mhm.
We all have things we're loyal to, but look at your strongest beliefs, your deepest loyalties. Is there anything in your life that you've made too big to fail?
Because if you can't question it, you don't own it. It owns you. Think about that.